You ready? Yeah, you got me running, you got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, baby. Raise your hands up, raise them out.
All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Currency Call with Forex Trading Asia. So this is episode 367, and it is the 1st of September as well. So welcome back, everyone, and also a big welcome to the new followers as well, and welcome to the show. So this is the Currency Call, where every Monday to Friday, we analyze the currencies as follows. So on Monday, it's the Aussie and Kiwi. Tuesday, the Euro pairs. Wednesday, the Pound pairs. Thursday, Yen and Gold. And then on Friday, we have the CAD and crypto pairs, Ethereum and Bitcoin specifically. So this is the Currency Call, where you'll get market economic updates. You'll get the key support and resistance levels of the currency pairs in focus, trade ideas, and also more. This currency call is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term traders and also investors. And finally, the short-term traders as well, with the trade ideas that are presented, will also have opportunities to participate in the market. Now, here we will go through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risks as well. A disclaimer, so please understand that any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis before entering any trades. So first up, guys, I'll do the US dollar index analysis, and we'll just get the chart up now. And hello, everyone, as well. There was a bit of activity in the chat. There was a few more people there, so it was good to see participating in the chat. Now, don't forget that if you do have a question, please feel free to ask away, and we will make sure we get to it as well. So for the US dollar, we actually did discuss yesterday that we were anticipating a little bit more downside, which we did sort of get. I mean, mid-afternoon, there were some opportunities that presented, but we didn't really have a lot of follow through. And what we did see later into the session, and we did sort of give a warning about this, not holding trades too long in regards to the volatility that is anticipated. Even though it was Tuesday and we've got the NFP coming out on Friday, we still saw some profit taking. It was the end of the month as well, which was strange because it wasn't the end of the week, and it felt like the beginning of the week really, but it was the end of the month, and we saw some profit taking in equities. Not a great deal of a pullback at all, but it just helped sort of boost the dollar a little bit higher. And we're sort of at the top of this range now. We're back to 92.70. So it's been somewhat choppy in Forex markets, but after we get to the conclusion of what NFP is doing and how the Fed will respond, by this time next week, we should have a little bit of clarity. So right now it's a tough one to say let's go and buy the breakout. I would just say firstly what you'd want to do is have a look at the news. So we'll just do that now. We'll do a quick recap with the economic calendar here, thanks to Forex Trading Asia. So if we go and have a look, last night we did have quite a little bit of news out. Consumer confidence, the CB consumer confidence was a slight miss. Well, it was actually 113.8, so it did miss there, to be honest, but still relatively high. Chicago PMI, that was down a little bit, but really it just looked like that risk sentiment was back to a little bit of risk off, but ever so slightly. But it just looks like the US dollar was not keen to move lower, and what that means is that we just have to remain flexible. So if I just go down for Wednesday, guys, just a quick glance, the Aussie GDPs are actually a little bit higher than expected, which is interesting. And so we've got the manufacturing PMIs, we've got the ADP non-farm employment change. This is all this evening. So around 8:15 GMT plus 8 is when it begins. Then the manufacturing PMI, 9:45 in the evening. And then the ISM manufacturing PMI, it's expected at 58.6. So there's quite a big chunk of news there that could help, hold the US dollar up. within this range, I just want to go back to the chart just briefly to reiterate. So this range, really, the top is around where we are currently, maybe a little bit higher at the 80s, very low 80, 90 to 80. So really trading opportunities directly on the US index is not really there. But if it does peak out above the top of this rectangle here that was discussed yesterday in the currency call, definitely some buying opportunities against, against pairs with the US dollar. So it is challenging right now. So when in doubt, just probably leave it until we get some clarity. So for now, no trade on the US dollar directly, unless, we see some significant, significant push higher later tonight, really around 9 o'clock GMT plus 8 tonight are my thoughts on the US dollar. So with that done now, we do have, it is Wednesday, so we have the pound pairs in focus today. We've got Jin here just to go through his thoughts on the pound pairs. There are some opportunities as well, guys, so definitely focus up. And thanks, Jin, for your thoughts on the pound pairs.
All right, thanks for that, Scott. So Wednesday today, we are looking at the pound pairs. It is the 1st of September, so brand new month ahead. Very quickly, I'll just jump into the news here, as Scott was just sharing with you already. ForexTradingAsia.com, looking at the economic calendar. Today being Wednesday, we have had some news early this morning with the Aussie GDP number quarter on quarter. Came up a little bit better than expected. So was expecting a 0.5, came out at 0.7%. Still relatively lower than previous, but this still shows somewhat of a consistency in the GDP number. This actually led to a little bit of movements in the Aussie dollar, but we still see it sitting in that tight consolidation at this point. But bringing back the focus to the pound dollar, what other news do we have? We have some pound news to be released later, quite soon, actually at 1400 GMT plus 8. But I don't see this as a usual big price mover at this point. Following on from that, we do have the pound manufacturing PMI numbers. So manufacturing PMI numbers, as we spoke about before, PMI numbers is a leading indicator. At this point, still holding, looking like it's going to hold at a 60.1. And if that does come around, it might look like good news for the UK when it's being released. But when I show you the technical charts, it might actually give us a little bit more insight at that point. OPEC meeting, I did have a question from Gary there asking about OPEC meetings. Pay attention to the USCAD tonight when we look at the OPEC. And then the main event, or leading up to the main event, we have the US ADP non-farm numbers. ADP non-farm is a private calculation or private statistics of the non-farm number, expected to go from 330K to a 613K. So we're looking at a relatively good number at this point, because the forecasted is quite significantly greater than the previous. I think that we're more likely to miss. It's more likely, in my view, that ADP could miss the forecasted, but still be better than previous. In this case, if it does come out at about 500, I think maybe about 500, we could still see some strength in the US dollar. As Scott was just sharing, it's been climbing back up a little bit, sitting in consolidation right now. We could see some strength at that point, even at 500. US PMI numbers looking to stay above 50, so still well into the expansionary phase, together with the ISM manufacturing PMI numbers at about 58.6, still in that expansionary phase. So if all that data does come out, we are likely to see further strengthening in the US dollar against a normal number in the pound dollar. So, with that in mind, possible strengthening in the US dollar, not big changes in the pound dollar. It tells a lot, which might see on the chart later. On Thursday, we do have US jobless claims number. That's a weekly number. So it might change, the number might change, but that's not going to have a huge impact because that's a weekly number, weekly jobless claims. And then on Friday, we do have the services PMI for the UK looking to stay at 55.5. So again, in that expansionary phase at 55.5, not big changes, no big surprises coming from the UK at this point. Following on from that, as I've told you about throughout this week, on Friday, we have the US non-farm payrolls still looking like a possible good number. Unemployment rate looking to drop from 5.4 to a 5.2, and average hourly earnings looking to go from 0.4 to a 0.3. So maybe some growth, not as big as expected, but at a 0.2 and a 0.3 might still be in line to further US dollar strength. With that, what else do we have? We do have more US non-manufacturing PMI numbers staying at that 61.6 level, maybe dropping a little bit, maybe even about 60, but still well into that expansionary phase. So all that, what does all that mean on the charts? Looking at a pound dollar here on the H4 time frame, remembering that we're not likely to see big surprises in terms of data coming from the UK. We're possibly going to see some good news or expectation of good news from the US dollar. With how the pound dollar is sitting here on the H4, sitting at this 137.47 level. We've seen it gone up, test, and now testing lower. I think that this actually presents a very good opportunity that we could see the pound dollar drop back towards the 135.88 level. In this case, it's the same as what I said last week when we were saying that it was likely to drop towards the next support level. There are several points that you want to consider as it heads down towards that support level. If you're looking to sell, or whether we're looking to sell here at about 137.29, you could be looking at a 40 pip stop loss for a very good 120 pip take profit level, a 1:3 risk reward ratio towards the downside. But pay attention, once it gets to about a 1:1 risk reward ratio, it needs to clear past that point. It needs to clear past 136.78. So we're looking at about a 40 pip, 50 pip move downwards. If it clears past 136.78, then we're going to see further downside. That could be your interim level where you're consider to close the trade, but your take profit could be at that support level of 135.88. So quite relatively straightforward on the pound dollar at this point, especially given that it looks like it's breaking this 137.47 support level. As we look at the pound dollar possibly heading downwards, we always cast our mind back to what we talked about on the euro pound yesterday. If the pound dollar does drop down towards 136.78 and even possibly towards 135.88, what we could see on the euro pound, because of the inverse relationship as we spoke about yesterday, we could actually see this continue moving up. Right now, we've seen it test this 85.80 level. We've seen it look like it's breaking upwards of this 85.80 level. Right now, it looks like a good buying opportunity with a very tight stop loss of about 20 pips for a very good take profit level of about 60 pips. You're looking at a 1:3 risk reward ratio towards the upside, towards the 86.51 resistance level. So how I'll prioritize this, I would look at euro pound as a relatively high priority trade. It's almost something that you could look at quite immediately, and the pound dollar would actually have to move down a little bit more, possibly wait for this candle to close a little bit further downwards before you look for that selling opportunity at about 137.29. So short and sharp in terms of the analysis on the pound dollar and the euro pound. What I also want to touch on a little bit here is that, we do this currency call every day. We've gone past 365 now already. This is one of the avenues of support that we give you as a retail trader or investor, that little bit of insight or the daily updates of what could happen in the markets, what I'm actually looking at, what I'm planning in terms of my own trades. But if you do need that additional help, if you are trading actively on your own, or if you're looking to get started, it's not just about learning how to trade. All right, we've got all the course materials online. It's on YouTube now. It's free to watch. Everything that I used to charge thousands of dollars for, it's all up for free right now. I don't know why I'm doing that, but it's all up for free right now on YouTube. But it's not just about that course. It's about the ongoing learning, the ongoing support. You don't want to trade alone. You don't want to just have to figure things out alone. You want that community. You want that support. You want to be able to ask questions and have it answered, not by people on a forum who have no interest in whatever you do. You want people to answer it who actually know what they're doing, who are actually trading it, who are actually actively watching the markets. So if that is what you need, this is what you need to get onto. What we have here is the EchoFin platform with our own personal club with all the members here. So this is where you can actually go on, ask questions, right? Not a lot of you ask questions, but if you have questions, you can ask it there. Scott puts up a lot of his analysis there, updates, market updates. If anything happens, we put it up straight away just to give you the insight into what could be happening, just to answer a little bit of questions about what is surprising in the market right now. All right, sometimes you look at price jumping upwards or scaling downwards and you go, wait, why is it moving? Put it in here, ask the question. We have almost everyone watching it all the time, giving you all the information about why price is moving, giving you that analysis, giving you that feedback onto why price is moving. That actually will give you a lot of information in terms of your own trades. So with that as well, I really feel that this is a one-stop shop where you can use this as your base of trading, because you've got all the news here. You've got the whole calendar. If you don't want to go into Forex Trading Asia, you have all the news here as well, giving you the news items, telling you when it's going to be released, what's going to be released, what's the previous forecasted and actual release. Not just that, you actually have the data flash here as well. And I like this is because the data flash actually prompts you when the news is being released. And what I've actually seen is that data flash releases the news faster than pretty much all the other news sources across the board. So if you want news fast, if you want news to be prompted to you, to be telling you what's going to happen, you need to get onto this. And also in a one-stop shop fashion, straight away, if you get confused about what's happening, what's moving, how is it moving, FX crosses tells you what is, if you see a lot of green, you see it getting stronger across the board. You see dollar getting stronger across the board. If you see a lot of red, dollar's getting weaker across the board. This is that one view that covers everything in a snapshot. When it comes down to trading, it's a lot about knowing what to do. It's a lot about knowing what to do, when to do. And it's also a lot about asking that question and constantly learning. So if you're not already on the EchoFin platform, make sure you get on board. I'm sure the guys will put up the links, get you on board with EchoFin and the Traders Club. With that said, I'll pass it back to Scott.
All right, thanks very much, Jen. And just in reference to what was just discussed, guys, pardon me, that is the link now for the LCMS Traders Club. So that will get you access to the EchoFin group as well, guys. And I'll just add something additionally just before I pass pass on to Gim Hong here. It's been brought up a few times in conversation, just in general chit chat, how fast this year has gone so far. And if you're sort of watching this from a passive perspective and you are keen to learn how to trade and start, your journey, I would say really there's no, perfect time than now, because, it takes time. And that's the number one thing, is just the more you're in that environment, the correct community as well, the more the chances you're going to succeed as well. So feel free to ask questions. And I would say it's almost silly not to just sign up, and the monetary investment is so tiny. I mean, people will spend thousands and thousands of dollars on, university education, but this is something that you can really do anywhere in the world with an internet connection. So I strongly recommend doing it. It's helped me immensely as well. So from that now, so Gim Hong is up now, guys, the head of fundamental analysis for LCMS traders, and he's just going to go through a trade idea. Over to you, Gim Hong.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, happy midweek, everybody. Okay, let me just share my trade idea right away. Okay, so Aussie CAD, time to make a comeback. All right. So you know what? Let's just go straight to the chart. All right. So as you guys can see that the Australian dollar has been trading pretty low, I would say, okay, against the Canadian dollar since the start of the year. As you can see over here, indicated by the blue vertical line, beginning of 2021, okay, it's a clear downtrend, okay. So reason being was that, the Bank of Canada has actually already tapered twice this year, okay. I think once back in April, another time back in July, okay. Whereas the Reserve Bank of Australia up to now, okay, has not carried out any form of tapering yet, okay. So that's one thing. Second thing, it's Delta variant related, all right. So the COVID cases in Canada has been contained, I would say, pretty well, okay. The progress made in Canada has been very good in terms of containment, whereas over in Australia, okay, I think it was in around late July, late July or something, where the Delta variant actually, unfortunately caused a spike in cases, okay? So that actually led to more lockdown measures, restrictions being carried out across Australia, okay? Hence, the further weakening of the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. So we see a strong downtrend. Now, most of the time, okay, we don't see a trend last forever, all right? I mean, there must be a lowest point, right? In this case, what I've spotted is, let me change to H4. So this trade idea was actually issued out based on a H4 time frame, okay? So as you can see, as marked by the blue line here, okay, there's actually a double bottom, all right? So I think it was back in July, right? July's meeting or August meeting. I think it was back in July's meeting that the Reserve Bank of Australia actually announced a tapering, okay, in that will be carried out in September, okay, once the current round of QE ends, okay. Then in August, shortly after, the whole COVID Delta variant hits, and there was a rise in cases, okay. So the market was actually a bit skeptical, okay, on the RBA's decision to, to carry on with the QE tapering in September. But however, okay, in August, the RBA decides that, we are going to carry on with the whole tapering, okay, because the economic recovery in Australia has been very robust, okay, and they are actually projecting 2022 growth to be stronger, okay. So with that, they actually decide to move on to proceed with their plan of QE tapering in September, early September. Well, I don't think it's like first week of September, okay, probably like mid-September or something, okay. So that actually led to, of course, that hawkish, I would say, that hawkish meeting, okay, back in August, actually led to a strengthening in the Canadian dollar. So we can see that over here, marked by the orange line, 0.91 handle, is actually like the lowest level, okay, being traded this year, right? So my speculation is that this is actually the bottom. The bottom, well, the lowest for now that the Australian CAD will be trading at. Okay, so there's a two bounce. There are actually two bounces off from close to this level, okay, which marks the double bottom pattern. Okay, so I actually set a buy stop order at 0.922. I think it actually got hit last Friday. Okay, last Friday, right around this region here. Okay, so at the moment it's actually still hovering around like the break-even level, probably got like a couple of pips profit and things like that. So the RBA will actually be meeting next week. Okay, so my take is that if they were to, chances are they will. Okay, unlikely they're going to make any last-minute changes to their plans. But if the RBA were to proceed with QE tapering next week, okay, then we may very well be seeing, you know, a stronger Australian dollar, okay, as at least when traded against the Canadian dollar. All right. Now, if you guys actually took this trade, pay attention to what's going to happen today, okay, because there will be a OPEC plus meeting. So at the moment, it's, you know, it's trading around break even or like probably like a couple of pips profit. You know, if you guys are risk averse, I suggest that you guys actually close the trade now, all right? Because nobody knows what's going to happen at OPEC plus. Like I mentioned yesterday, you know, during the OPEC plus meeting, sort of like a prep video kind of thing, they may actually be reconsidering the production hike that they actually set out back in August, sorry. Okay, so if they were to do that, you know, if they were to actually revert their hike in production, then that may actually cause price movements in oil, which directly impacts the Canadian dollar. Okay, so whatever decision they make, okay, it's likely going to impact the Canadian dollar. Okay, so to be honest, the stop loss being set for this trade idea is 140 pips. Personally, you know, based on my experience, unlikely the news is going to, you know, bring Aussie CAD down to stop loss. Okay, but like you know, as Scott has mentioned, this is a longer term trade, so you know, people who are not psychologically prepared for this whole roller coaster ride across maybe a week or two, okay, before making some profit, may want to actually close the trade right now. All right. Otherwise, you know, you guys actually, my personal view is that Aussie CAD is likely going to strengthen because of the RBA's optimistic outlook on the Australian economy. Okay, and of course they're likely going to carry on with the QE tapering early, well, probably like next week or something. Okay, so yeah, that's all I have to share for Aussie CAD. And yeah, take note of the OPEC plus meeting that will be held today. The time is forever going to be like tentative. Okay, then otherwise I will be updating you guys tomorrow on what actually went down during the meeting. Okay, with that, I will hand it back to Scott.
Hey, Kim Hong, before you hand it back to Scott, we've got some questions about your New Zealand Swiss franc trade idea. Do you want to give an update on that as well, please?
Okay. Yes, I just looked at the New Zealand francs. You know what? Let me just look for the chart. That's what happened when you have like tons of charts going on and New Zealand francs. Okay. So what's the question regarding again? Let me check.
Your trade idea to buy at your buy stop at 0.6380. If we've got a few people who are following you on that trade, would you say hold on towards the take profit, or would you say close out, or would you say what to do? Okay, so
personally, I would say I will hold on to it. Why is that the case? Because there's no fundamental change at the moment when it comes to the New Zealand dollar. Okay. Personally, I just feel that New Zealand dollar keeps getting stronger and stronger. Okay. First of all, yes, it was a disappointment that, you know, they did not hike rates. Okay. But then the Assistant Governor Hawkesby actually came out to clarify that, you know what, the decision to actually not hike rate was not due to COVID. It was actually due to a communication issue, okay? Because, I mean, during the day of the lockdown of New Zealand, it's not very nice to actually, you know, announce something major, you know, something that has major impact like a hike in interest rate on the same day, right? So I would take it as a postponement of the announcement. Okay. Now, on top of that, Hawksby actually mentioned that the board was actually discussing an interest rate hike of 0.5%, okay, as opposed to the market sentiment that they are actually discussing about a 0.25% hike. Okay, that further adds on to the hawkishness of the New Zealand dollar. As you can see, this is like the daily. This is the daily time frame, okay, that you're looking at right now. You can see that for the past, 10 days, there's only like one day that, the New Zealand dollar actually traded slightly lower against the francs, okay? Now, another reason is that the New Zealand dollar is trading against the francs. So the francs in general is a safe haven currency, Right now at New Zealand, okay, if things are, under control in terms of the pandemic, and the economy has been doing well, central banks are actually throwing out hawkish messages, announcements, and things like that, then we will definitely be seeing a risk-on sentiment on the New Zealand dollar against safe haven assets like the Switzerland francs. Okay, so from the Switzerland side point of view, the economic data releases from Switzerland most of the time is unlikely going to cause much impact on the Swiss francs, to be honest. Okay, so which is why I'm very confident that we can further hold on to New Zealand francs for until I deem that it's unlikely going to be moving much further and things like that. Then I will be actually indicating in the post in Traders Club Facebook group and the ECOFIN, asking you guys to close. Okay, which is why it's important to just sign up for the club and you will get notification from me. But yeah, thank you for your questions.
I've got one more question. Would you move your stop loss up to break even or a bit higher than that?
Okay, this is a very good question. All right, I will not do it. Okay, personally, I will not do it. But okay, this is actually a very good risk management tool from my point of view. All right, say for example, right now, my stop loss is below the lowest level in 2021. It's definitely much safer than any level above it, right? So it's 160 pips. Now, right now we are making some 70 pips, okay? If you want to shift your stop loss up, okay, there are many ways to go about doing it. I'm not going to go through the whole theory behind it, all right? So if you were to, some people would actually bring the stop loss up to the break-even level, which can actually be a good thing, but bear in mind that if New Zealand francs were to reverse, okay, from now on, touch wood, and hit your stop loss, you will be getting nothing. It's pretty much like a all or nothing kind of scenario, right? However, if you were to leave your stop loss at this strong level over here, okay, if New Zealand francs were to take a slight reverse right now, going back to break even or maybe in some negative pips, okay, then what we are doing is we are actually giving it a chance to rebound back upwards. All right, so personally I will not shift it because the fundamental for New Zealand dollar is very, very strong right now. And I mean, you can see that, okay, technical wise, indicator wise, you can see that our MACD indicators are showing a strong upward momentum. Okay, if you look at stochastic, yes, it's at oversold, but remember, okay, oversold does not mean that it's ready for a reversal. Okay, that's a very important point right there. All right, so personally, no, but if you are risk averse, you know what, take the profit and yeah, just close it. But I mean, at the moment, there's no major news coming up and things like that, right? So why would you? How do you actually justify that? How do you justify your actions of closing? Which is why I choose to hold it. All right. Any more questions?
I have a whole bunch, but I'll give you a chance before this becomes a 1 hour call.
Yeah, before this becomes a mini trader summit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, I will update you guys again on the OPEC Plus meeting, what went down tomorrow, okay? And I will hand it back to Scott.
All right, thanks, Kim Hong as well. And for the people that have joined us as well, I hope you really did enjoy that. It's very rare to see a call like this where you'll be watching, professional traders who are full-time traders actually show a trade midway through and discuss the management. In fact, you just won't see that for free on the internet as well. So that was very valuable. And again, guys, remember that I shared a few links as well. So just to do a quick recap, I know we've been going a little while. The Forex Trading Asia, that is a free resource to see Kim Hong's analysis as well as Jin's and myself's as well. And then also there was the Traders Club that was shared too. And in regards to the Traders Club, this will just be a quick mention here. Daniel will just go through, and he is still with us as well. I thought you were asleep, Daniel. And we've got Daniel going through what to expect from tonight's live trading call. So this is really where it's the business end of the week here, guys. And Daniel will run us through what is anticipated and just what to expect from the live trading call tonight that he does every Wednesday night. Over to you, Daniel.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Yeah, so it's great. So on Wednesdays evenings, 9 p.m., we do a live trading sessions for all the club members here. What we do is we show the LCMS Traders Club members on how we do preparations before we even do any trades, what do we look out for, so they know what you're doing, how to analyze the market. We basically use the 5-step analysis taught by Jin, so that you don't, really don't need to be the whole day at the computer preparing and looking and wondering what to do. In fact, we'll be all coaching together with me tonight at 9 p.m. doing the US market sessions. Okay. Most importantly, tonight, what we could be looking out for is, at 8:50 GMT plus 8. That is going to there's the ADP employment change. So we're going to at 9 p.m. GMT plus 8, where this session is going to happen. We're going to look at what has happened and how we're going to look for live tradings together for that news, and how do we prepare our trading news for Wednesday's night, Thursdays and Friday, and how do you prepare that? So for example, like on Monday, there's trade ideas. We do New Zealand USD, Pound USD, and many more. Okay, so really do join us tonight. For those who are not already in the club, I would like to share with you. Do come and join us in the club. Okay, do join us in the club at lcmstraders.com.sg. Where is it? Give me a minute. Okay, there you go. I found it. Share here. There you go. Okay, yes. There you go. So this is where you go. The link is already pasted up by Scott. Thank you very much. We're going to tradersclub.lcms.com.sg. All you need to do is to scroll it all the way down. Already Gene has already mentioned about what I have in the club members at the platform here. We give Forex signals, live webinars, daily coachings, analysis, many more. And you see there, Kim Hong will give a lot of long-term trade ideas coming in. So all you need to do is just go to this club, click on it. It's worth thousands here, but it's a chance to join only at $49 a month. Now this is without a doubt the least you must do, okay, to make sure you achieve your best in your trading. So join us tonight at 9 p.m. GMT plus 8, and Monday coaching sessions on 8 p.m. GMT plus 8 as well. This price, $49 a month, can change anytime. So please do get on board right now. And once you're there, I see you tonight at 9 p.m. GMT plus 8. Scott.
All right, thanks so much for that, Daniel, and hope to see lots of people tomorrow as well. I've just shared the link, guys, for the Forex Briefcase managed account service as well that we offer for anyone looking to invest with us. And that is the conclusion of the call. All right, there wasn't any more questions. Okay, Kim Hong doesn't get any more questions. But guys, thanks for joining us again. Hope to see everyone tomorrow for the yen and gold analysis as well.